Welcome to the Philippines. Actually, Dumaguete, Philippines, to be more specific. At my favorite spot. I'm not going to say too much. See who shows up, so I don't get stuck repeating myself. Um, what a beautiful day, though. What a great time to be alive. Not too breezy. It's got like a perfect breeze, so hopefully the audio is as good as the video. Taking a break from my walking. Did a lot. Wouldn't have it any other way. There's nothing better than waking up happy and obviously looking out the window and seeing the beautiful sunshine and know that you're on an island halfway around the world. Found a little spot here. Have a little bit of shade. I got this little pole providing me a little sun blockage while I cool off until I get some water. Martin, you're number one, as far as I can tell. Actually, it doesn't show anybody in my live stream yet, so thank you, Martin. Good morning, Martin. Another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Like I was saying, I don't know if you caught, like, kind of got the shade of this pole right here, giving me a little break from my obvious morning walk. What a beautiful, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. In a perfect world, maybe we're done with rain season, but I know it's probably not possible. Let me know how the audio sounds. I'm not wearing the AirPods. I'm thinking maybe the breeze isn't as strong as it was the past few days. Martin, looks nice today, about the same here. Yeah, it's just like, it's almost like kind of gives me that spring, summer fever time of the year that I'm used to in the States. I'm looking forward to some more consistent sunny weather. It can rain all at once at nighttime. That's kind of perfect whenever it wants to rain at night, and then get up to the beautiful sunshine. All right, well, keep me posted. If like I said, I can simply put in my AirPods to help mitigate the wind. Actually, maybe it'd be better if I just did it. Hold on here. Might as well do it now. Now, did that change anything? Let me know if that made it better. Um, I think they connected. Sometimes I get like a little indication noise in here, but Martin said getting hot. Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't bother me. It's funny. I just met another guy, foreigner from the United States, when I was walking around. I see him a lot. Um, he actually lives in Valencia. His name was Michael too. I went right up to him. All right, so that's good. I'm kind of skipping ahead, Martin. 0 win now. All right, that's good. Um, but yeah, I met another guy. I just because I see him all the time, getting some direct sunlight along the wall here on the other end, and I just he sees me, I see him, and then I just introduce myself, and he said, "My name's Michael." I'm like, "Wow, my name's Michael too." So that'll be easy. I won't forget his name, and he's from Florida. He's lived in Florida all his life, and I lived there for 2 years, and I asked him about like how he compares the heat because a lot of people would ask me how I compare the heat to Florida, and sometimes I felt like Florida was a little more humid. So And he said to me, he feels the same. He actually feels like Florida's more humid because I don't think this is nothing compared to Florida. And I was like, well, maybe I just can't remember exactly how close it is. But I said, I mean, obviously it depends on where you live in Florida. If you're inland or like Orlando, landlocked, obviously it's hotter. But if you're near the ocean, you always have that breeze. But he's a full-time Floridian, a lifer. And he said that he felt that, the weather was very comparable to Florida here in the Philippines, if not possibly more humid in Florida. And he would know before me because he's actually lived there. But all right, bunch of comments now. This is what I like to see. Can say hello to everybody. Um, Martin says raining at night and hot during the day is a pretty good sign. Rainy season is wrapping up. Good to hear. Good to hear. Art Chairs is here. Hello, Art Chairs. How are you, Michael? Looks like a beautiful day. It's been for the most part, other than some mixed rain a little bit yesterday, off and on, or not like it was all day. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful day. I wake up anticipating, so excited for every day. Gets my morning off right, do the coffee, get my walk in full of energy, and I'm just full of life. I'm loving it, living it. Like Michael White said, you're not living life in the Philippines, you're living your dream in the Philippines. And I completely agree. So welcome our chairs. Happy, happy, happy. If anybody asks where's Che, she's well, obviously you see her in the live stream. She's going to her mother. She's been running errands, taking care of things at the apartment, and I'm blessed and thankful for her. But it's kind of why I titled this live stream in the Philippines and being thankful and being blessed for everything that I've gotten. And I think we should always be thankful for whatever we get in life. And if you want to improve your life, it's up to you to make it better. Um, Martin says, yeah, that's the way right there. Martin says, zero win now. Okay, thank you. Um, Ray, good morning, or I should say good afternoon, Ray. Almost lost track of time. Good afternoon, Ray. What's good, Michael? I'm good. I'm great. Great would be an understatement. Happy to be here. Happy to do another live. Um, Kind of got my little bit of shade here. Wanted to have the nice backdrop, but I got this pole giving me a little bit of shade right up the middle. But you can see Sikihor real easy today. Um, Not much activity along the boulevard. Most people are sitting in the shade, as am I right now. But for the most part, I'm always in the sun. Got my natural zinc, uh, the good stuff, the healthy type sunblock. There's no chemicals in it. It's called Badger, like the animal badger, Badger. That's why you see this white stuff. It's like zinc, where my cap doesn't block. So uh, nature is better. Hello, this is Victor. Is cool. Welcome, nature is better, Victor. I agree, nature is better, especially being here in the Philippines. There's a lot of nature you get to see, although I'm not in the heart of the island. I'm kind of in a city here in Dumaguete, but my name's Michael, Victor. I'm from the United States and living abroad in the Philippines, enjoying the life, enjoying the dream, I guess you could say. But welcome, nature is better. Any comments, questions? Uh, Add whatever you want to the live stream. We're always open for meeting new people. But thanks for being here. Ray says sounds good. Thank you. Good good afternoon, David. I guess it would be good evening to you in California. Before you know it, you're going to be on your way, David. I know you got the itch. I'm happy for you. Oh, David, I have all your information. I did send you an email to your email address. So we have that a connection. Plus, I gave you my number too. As long as it's iPhone to iPhone, I think I'm good. I think it's basically free. Sometimes I have to turn on my number. Sometimes I turn off that my American number just so my Philippine number is the priority. So if you did send me a message, maybe I didn't get it. Uh, But I know when my parents call me iPhone to iPhone or FaceTime, it's off also. I think it kind of goes through my email. Somehow it connects, and it works. But appreciate Ray you giving me that information. So now David and I can hook up. NHA, that would be, whoops, that just jumped way down to the bottom. Uh, uh, sorry about that. Che says, I'm here. Welcome, Che. Where are you at? Are you at your mom's yet in Kandawai? Or are you still in the process of in a tricycle or something? But thank you for being here, Che. God bless you. I always appreciate your support. Che's like my number one fan. Um, David says, hi, Ray. Che says, hello, everyone. Ray says, hey, Che. Ray says, hey, David. Che says, hey, Ray. David says, hi, Che. I love that you guys all kind of you say hi to each other. Ray says, hey, Martin. Martin said, the Ray is here. Yeah, call him Stingray. Stingray is here. People say Michael Walker. Well, David gave me that name. Michael Walker or Michael White Walker from the Game of Thrones. Or actually, sometimes I'm the Night Walker too. I guess Night Walkers. I don't know if that's like a vampire's a Night Walker. I forget. Martin says, how's it going, Ray? David says, hi, Manila, which is Martin. Nature is better says, how are you doing? It's been a long time, right? I'm trying to figure nature. Have you been here before? And I guess maybe that could be why you're saying it's been a long time. Uh, if it is you're returning, welcome back. Thank you very much. But I've been in the Philippines now. I think Che and I figured it out. Total of like between 13 and 14 months. So I'm officially over a year. Although within this time period, I did go home for a few months to the United States in between. But I'm back. Fill me in on you. Nature is better. Where are you from? If it's been a while, that's maybe why I don't remember. I do my best. Not like my channel is that big, so I should be able to remember most people. But welcome. Yumi says hello. Hello, Yumi. Where are you from, Yumi? Always looking forward to meeting new people here. Uh, welcome. Nature's Better said hi. Wolfgang said hi. Good to see you again. Yes, I remember that name. Wolfgang, welcome back again. Nice to see you too. You may have to refresh my memory on some things. It's sometimes it can be tough remembering everybody or their actual names or where they're from, but anybody who's here, it's always a blessing. Being here and living my life in the Philippines is a blessing. So beautiful, beautiful afternoon now in Dumaguete, Philippines. Ray says, waiting for my video to upload. Everyone complained I never show walking around. So he went to do laundry and convenience store, lots of excitement. You know what, Ray? Some of those videos are kind of like what I enjoy the most, um, which I agree I need to do. Che and I have done those. Like just make a video of your everyday life, whatever you're doing. Those are the most genuine and simple ones to do anyway. And then you just edit out stuff that you think might bore people or whatever. And I like doing videos of simple things in your everyday life. It really gives people a true idea of you when you're not like this sitting just doing live stream. I mean, they get to know you this way, obviously, also, but I think it's better for me personally, in my opinion. I like doing videos that's just your everyday life. Not necessarily taking a trip anywhere or going to any uh, different island. Just yeah, I like kind of just giving an overall breakdown of my day. So I'm looking forward to it, Ray. Nature is better. Do you remember me? I'm Victor. It's cool, but I changed my username. Maybe that's why I don't remember. Victor sounds familiar because I don't know many Victors, but maybe it's what was your name before that? Nature is better. That might be why. I like turtles. No, we shouldn't. I like turtles. Turtles are like one of my favorite things. I have all these little statues, like little, little neat, little all different types of turtles. I grew up playing with turtles as a kid in Pennsylvania in the mountains. Box turtles a lot, not snapper turtles. I had baby snapper turtles, but even when they're little, man, try to they have that instinct right away. Snapper turtles can be a little vicious. Um, Dazzle TV, that would be Gino, Dazzle, and family. Hello, Dazzle. Good afternoon. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Dumaguete. Tony Rain. Tony's new. Hey, I like your picture. It looks like from the Matrix, but you retracted your message, Tony. You should stay, Tony. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. Never retract a message. Welcome. I'm a big fan of the Matrix movies. Sometimes I feel like we might be living in the Matrix. Uh, Pome says, "What, you fishing sharks?" No, I'm not fishing sharks. Somebody else might be out there fishing sharks, but I'm in the Philippines, living my life abroad here, living my dream, I guess, abroad here from United States. My name is Michael. But welcome, Pome. Where are you from? Wolfgang said you like Sikihor. I love Sikihor, and actually, I'm kind of getting excited because that's where Che and I are going to take our next trip there, Wolfgang. She's never been there, so being that the weather's starting to get a little more consistently nice, and we can travel basically right across the water. Right there it is. 40 minutes. When we have the consistent weather, we can go because I don't want her first time, or I wouldn't want to go over there when it's raining. We just have to figure out what spot we want to hit. We'll probably just do a lot of day trips. Because it's really easy to take the earlier boat, 40 minutes over, latest boat back, 40 minutes back. So you basically have, I don't know, 8 hours or so more to pick a certain thing, whether it's a waterfall, a beach, or whatever. Yeah, I'm excited to go. Lots of nature, very beautiful over there. It's a very small island, very province like, very tropical, naturey, not like no city or nothing like that. So yeah, I do like it. I've been there twice and looking forward to going back. Um, Gino says, "Good afternoon, Ray." Ray says, "I'm the anti-healthy living channel, the yin to your yang." Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, totally could be opposite, but that's all right. We give the best of both worlds, pros and cons, different lifestyles, different choices. It's all good. Ray says, "Hey, Gino." Dimple says, "Good afternoon. Good after Dimple. Good afternoon, Dimple. Thank you for always being here, supporting my channel. Um, yeah, it's a blessing. It's a humbling experience, and you never know on a day-to-day basis who's going to show up on your live stream. I just figure the best thing I can do is be a little more consistent with it. This is my break time, for my walking, and I go back to more walking. I already had my coffee a little earlier this morning, so I made sure I went to the CR, took care of that business, so I don't have a sneaky little stealth little situation come up where I have to relieve myself. So I'm good. But thank you, Dimple, for being here. David said, "I got the info, just been very busy." Oh, no doubt. I just making sure you got it. You don't worry about responding or anything like that. I know you got a lot to take care of. You got a big trip ahead of you, which is way more important than that other stuff. So I'm just glad you're coming. If everybody doesn't know, David Jessup here is coming to the Philippines like real soon. What is today? I think Saturday was the 15th, Sunday 16th, Monday. So yeah, today's the 17th. So a couple more days for David, and he's on his way to the Philippines. Wolfgang says, like number two. Oh, that's good. You're like number two. Thank you, Wolfgang. Dimple says, "Ray in the Philippines, when you gonna dance?" And I guess more of the question is more, Dimple, when are you not going to dance? I don't know if I've ever seen a video that he didn't actually do some sort of dance move or something. He's just, even if he's sitting in place, he's doing some little moving little dancing skit. Ray says, "David, don't forget to give me the info before you fly out so I'll know where to head on the 21st." All right, so he's going to basically get here on the 21st. And Ray says, "Hey, I was just basically dancing the other night." Yeah, I see Ray dancing all the time. Wolfgang says, "In the Philippines, No night walkers. They call it walk walk, but only visible at night after midnight. Yeah, like last night I was walking in the dark. Couldn't really see because these are my glasses, although they look like sunglasses. They actually good for my reading. Progressive lenses. I'm going to remember that because some I couldn't remember what these were, and these are progressive. So I didn't have my glasses on when I was walking at night, so it was kind of difficult for me to see the comments or answers. So I was trying to support whether it's Ray or anybody else's live stream, walk and listen, and yeah, that's why David made the comment about making my name called Mike Walker, Michael Walker, because there's so many Michaels through in our community, YouTubers and whatnot. And yeah, there's a lot of Michaels. So that we try to come up with things to differentiate everybody. And I guess David kind of came up with a cool one called Michael Walker. Uh, Dimple says, I mean, you're a good dancers, Ray, in the Philippines. Yeah, Ray's very entertaining. David says, yes, Ray, I will call you and send you the email. Ray says, sounds good, David. Wolfgang says, Matrix is real, in my honest opinion. Who knows? That's all I can say is uh, God is important in my life and number one in my life. But yeah, I think there's probably a lot of things that we thought was the truth and most likely isn't. And we're kind of learning that now. So yeah, we're living in a matrix. Take the red pill or the blue pill. Kind of what it is. Um, Wolfgang says, maybe you can connect with Susie Kelly, a local YouTube lady. She's cool and sure she could explain some nice spots there. Yeah, I'm aware of Susie Kelly. I've met her on a few occasions. Haven't seen her in Dumaguete much. She used to be around here a lot, interviewing people for her channel. Um, I'd say the closest, like I'm close with other YouTubers, but I'm most closest with, as far as the YouTubers here in Dumaguete. Uh, you guys might know her as the Filipina P. I'm very proud to say that I met her many, many months ago last year, shortly a couple weeks within when I got here in July of 2024, and we became friends. She's a super great person, very intelligent, very knowledgeable of anything related to the Philippines, especially expats and foreigners who are, coming here for a first time. Or, if I ever had a question, I can always reach out to her and ask her. Had coffee with her on several occasions. She is as chatty as they come, like myself. And we bought coffee for each other several times. And she's been in the United States, but last I talked to her, she said she was coming home before Christmas. That could have changed. She's a very busy person, but when I run into Philippine P, which I just call it Filipina P, I just call her P. She's very gracious and generous with her time. I'm a big fan of hers too, and to meet her and know her and call her a friend is another blessing that I've received here in the Philippines. Martin says, at Wolfgang, been wondering about that myself lately. Yeah, the Matrix. Ray says, all the checks on my video are good. Be right back. Gonna post it. Um, David says 16th here. Uh, Martin says, just get Ray some rum and he'll dance for you. Yes. I'm still looking for that Hello Kitty t-shirt. I want to get him a Hello Kitty t-shirt. And so when he visits me here, whenever that time comes in Dumaguete, I want to give him a gift of a Hello Kitty shirt. And he'll wear it here and then he'll wear it maybe sometimes when he live streams. Ray's about the only person he can truly wear Hello Kitty and get away with it. Go along with his Hello Kitty mug. I was thinking he had a Hello Kitty headband, but maybe I can find my Hello Kitty headband as well. Martin says, Dave, too excited to sleep yet. I know that feeling, Martin. I mean, I couldn't sleep because I was excited to come here, but I also couldn't sleep because my mind was always thinking ahead. Do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have this? And I learned I did bring too much here when I first came, a little too much. Once you realize you can buy a lot of things that you need here and you can travel lighter than you think. Obviously, there's the essentials. You have personal things that you need or whatnot, and you definitely got to bring those. But uh, yeah, when I went, actually, probably when I came here, I brought more things for other people. Even when I came back here the second time, some of my things I left behind to bring stuff for other people, which the one thing I left behind that I'm kind of bummed at, I have my own snorkel. Like I had that in Florida, very uh, good quality snorkel, mask, flippers. It was very expensive, and I was going to bring those with me so I could snorkel when I was here, but I left them behind, so I'm kind of bummed. Uh, I don't know when I'm going to get them here, unless somehow I work something out with my family that they can have some stuff shipped to me. But the cheapest way to ship is one of those containers, but it takes several months. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I definitely don't want to rent a snorkel, like wearing someone else's, something that someone else used. My mask is high quality, very clear glass, tempered glass. Like it's a really good mask. So we'll see. That's the only thing I basically left behind that I didn't want to leave behind. But it is what it is. Because I tried to come back with like one big backpack and one small one. That was it. Um, David says, yes, I am, but I did a lot of driving today, so I'm trying to stay. You. Dimple said, you're welcome. You're good and awesome. Regards to Che. Yeah, I'm sure Che's watching, or if she's not watching right now. Appreciate it, Dimple, as well as everybody else. Again, I'm always happy. I'm happy if I got one person in the live stream, let alone, I don't know, showing like 10, could be less, could be more. Um, it's all good. So one of these days, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get those guys to let me hang out with them while they're putting the fishing net out and collecting it. I would have fun doing that. But anyway, like back to the title of my live stream. Uh, whether you're in the Philippines or whether you're somewhere else in the world, thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about things that people are thankful for or blessed for. Aside from the obvious, maybe there's some other things that have happened to you lately that you want to share. And, you know, being that, Thanksgiving's not that far off. And I don't know, it's what I was kind of thinking about how blessed I am and thankful I am for so many things, especially since I came here to the Philippines. I mean, there's probably too many things to even mention, or if I just think of like random things that have happened to me that probably I would have never expected. I'd say YouTube is a blessing, and I'm happy for YouTube. Um, More so because of all the people that I've met and all the friends that I've made. Although a lot of us haven't met face to face. I mean, obviously the video helps. Um, it's more from a personal, intimate, way. It's like I'm very thankful to be able to share my life. Although I wouldn't say I've shared a lot, but I'm gonna get more into that. Like I said, I want to be a little different and share my personal experiences when Che and I start to visit other places, especially like simply going to Sikihor. I want people to see, you know, just my emotion expressions when I'm uh, exploring and doing stuff like that. I'm probably like a little kid on Christmas or something like that, which I am simply just getting up on my average day of doing my exercise routine. Um, Dumaguete for now is like my home base, and until Che and I start traveling a little more, which is coming now that we have an apartment. Yeah, I get excited just to wake up every morning, so full of energy, just to simply go for a walk, then go get my first coffee, my first sip. So little things that just fire me up. So yeah, going to Sikihor on a boat trip and visiting these beautiful beaches or a waterfall there, and obviously there's so many other places I could name. It's it's amazing how I react to nature like things. Like I love nature, tropical waterfalls, beaches. Like that's the stuff I truly enjoy. Yeah, the amenities of a city are fine. Um, I don't need to go to a coffee shop. I mean, I have my mushroom coffee, which is called Everyday Dose. I love that. Use put my honey sweetener in there and a little bit of milk. Uh, yeah, I'm like just excited, and I just get so energized just to go out walking and say hello to people, say hello to my local friends that I made here, or say hello to new people that I meet. It's truly amazing. I didn't, yeah, like I'm not saying I never went walking in Pennsylvania or Florida and in the US and didn't see people and they randomly say hi to you when they don't, as a stranger or acknowledge you maybe with a nod or something like that. But here it's night and day. Um, the workers, they're building a new building here. I'm going by, they look at me, they smile, they nod, they do all, I mean, it's truly, those are the little things that mean the most to me. It's the people are number one here. I mean, they're number one. Uh-oh, I gotta skip to Dimple because Dimple just gave me a super chat saying game over. um, really, but I can honestly say when I came here in search of not knowing what to expect here in Asia and the Philippines, Dimple, um, it's truly amazing. I guess you could say I got here, found what I never thought was possible. I guess found what I'm looking for here in the Philippines, and it's like game over. It's game over. And now I know that when I went back to the U.S. in March after being here for 7, 8 months, I even realized going back home that how much I miss being here in the Philippines. So Dimple, uh, again, you didn't need to do that. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate you just being here. Um, and I always apologize, and maybe that's a big part of live stream. I apologize if I ever get carried away talking because I'm so passionate about how the Philippines has changed my life. Um, so many positive things. I could babble, go on and on. And then, so Dimple, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then we got David Jessup says, "Oh, I almost forgot about your coffee with the super chat." David, God bless you. You're truly a great human being, like Dimple, like all you guys, super chat or not. Um, Meeting you guys is a blessing, and that's kind of like what I wanted the theme of the live stream to be, just being thankful. I mean, I'm thankful, obviously, for being alive, for being in very good health at my age to be able to experience something like this. And I wish everybody could come here at least once. Um, who've never, I literally traveled halfway around the world. So God bless you, uh, David. God bless you, Dimple. Why can't I heart your game over little thing? I don't know why, but I thought I could thumbs up, heart yours, Dimple, and if there's nowhere to do that. But thank you for your first super on my live stream. Thank you, David, for your continued multiple supers that you've given me. Again, it's just humbling. Um, it's humbling, and I could only attribute that to like Che. Che's the one that brought light to me on the subject one. She just, I'm always telling her, I said, I can't believe people, you know, give their hard-earned money, donate it to me. And Che just says, well, because you do things for other people, Michael, and that's God's way of giving it to you in return. Although I don't want it or need it in return, but um, from the bottom of my heart, guys, everybody that's ever done that, I'm just glad you're here, and I like sharing my passion. And I always say, where do I get all the talking from? I get it from my father. My father, my mother and father, without them, I wouldn't be obviously here today. I wouldn't be the man that I am today. I've made a life of, you know, ups and downs, the good and the bad, make mistakes, sometimes more than once. A lot of those mistakes was when I was younger. I guess that's the best thing about getting older. Usually if you make a mistake when you're older, at least for me, I don't tend to make that mistake a second time. Whereas when I was younger and immature and didn't know any better, you just yeah, you're like as a youngster, I was like the definition of insanity, where you continue to make the same decision, getting the same result. um, but yeah, thank you both, and I'm sorry for babbling, but thank you, David. Thank you, Dimple. Thank you, everybody else, for being here. Uh, Ben is here. Hello, Ben. Thank you for being here. Kumasta Kai. No, that's how are you? I'm just great, Ben. How are you? How happy are you being in the Philippines up there in Cebu? Um, I think we talked. I hope some point you get to, swing by Dumaguete, or at some point I'm up in your way in Cebu. I know there's a lot of waterfalls. There's a lot of nature everywhere in the Philippines, so I really wouldn't have an excuse not to visit anywhere. That would just probably all come down to my budget, but I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. I mean, Michael White and everybody's invited me up to Masbate. Like, just the generosity and the humbleness of everybody is, those are my blessings. The friends that I've made in the Philippines, again, I don't want to discount my friends back home in the United States, but those friendships seemed like they took such a long time to develop, whereas the friendships I've gotten here in the Philippines seem like they developed over a shorter time. Uh, they, it certainly seems like that, and I just it's the people. Yes, I love the warm weather. I love all the sunshine. I mean, yes, um, the sunshine gives me energy. Back to what's his name, Wolfgang's comment, or even Martin, the Matrix thing. Where were they? They're batteries. Well, in a way, we're energy. We are energy. We do need the recharge from the. We are connected to the earth. Being by the ocean, there's a lot of energy there. Um, in the Matrix, you're like a battery. Uh, you get energy from the sun. You get energy from a lot of things. I'm a firm believer that God created everything we need right here. Everything's right here. It's up to us to remember and not forget that everything we need is right here. And that's what I'm thankful for, first and foremost, just being here, and sharing my life with you guys. Uh-oh. Dimple says, because you're awesome and good. God bless you for the great compliment. Um, I asked Che the other day, I said to her, if someone were to come up to you, and if you don't know Che, that's my girlfriend. I said, if someone would ask you right now, this was just the other day, we were walking. I said, if someone would ask you, why do you love Michael so much? Like, what do you love about Michael? What would you say? The first thing she said is she would tell them, because you're a good person. And that's honestly what I would want her to say. I wasn't thinking that. And then she was laughing and said, well, then second, because you're guapo. And then she was laughing. And then she said, because you're a smart man, which I have so much to learn in life, living and learning every day. Um, and Dimple, God bless your heart with the second super chat. And now I was able to actually heart it and like it. So um, I'm humbled, uh, filled with emotion, like happy. Uh, my eyes are a little teary, like just because I'm not used to that. Um, and I love, like, there's no better feeling than helping others or giving to others. And believe me, I learned that probably at a very early age, kind of like when you get older. Christmas to me meant more, not so much about what was I going to get for Christmas. It meant more what was I going to get somebody else for Christmas. So um, I'm kind of feeling like getting this in reverse. But back to Ben. Thank you for being here. Dimple, once again, twice actually. Thank you. David, thank you. Um, blessing upon blessings. That's what I've received. I've become a better person even in the Philippines. I still have my flaws. I'm not perfect. Um, but I recognize them, and I'm obviously much more relaxed and less stress here in the Philippines. Which everybody, I try to tell them you have to adapt, you have to adjust to the different pace and not the sense of urgency that we're used to, or at least what I'm used to in the United States. But like when you're here, that's why there's less stress because there's less sense of, in my opinion, there's less sense of urgency. We were stressed in the US and not even knowing it because just of our everyday normal life, you know, got to get to work, got to get here, got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. And then if we were ever confronted with such a minor delay, whether you're in line at the grocery store or you're somewhere, you're in traffic, it just made us upset. It angered us because we were so conditioned, in my opinion, I was so conditioned. I'll speak for myself. I was so conditioned and programmed that I got to do this now. I got to have this now. I got to do this now. And then it would get you angry and upset because you felt like every little second that you were delayed in something was just putting you behind somewhere else. And just thinking about it right now stresses me out. But here, you get in a tricycle, and if there's a little traffic, oh well, you'll get there when you get there. It doesn't matter. Um, but I had to learn that here. That's a not like I said. That's why I got so many blessings and learned so much and was woken up and become less materialistic. But when you learn to become patient, when I was the subject of being impatient predominantly my whole life, um, I'm surprised it didn't take me longer. Now there's maybe I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything that causes me to be impatient right now that maybe Che could say something. But for the most part, I think I've adapted fairly well, and I hope I get better. Um, some things here I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure why they do it like that, but I don't know if that's like impatience related. But you just learn to accept it and kind of like when they say, don't sweat the small stuff in life. Um, I can probably even get to a point where I almost eliminate all the stress. But like I always say, stress is the silent killer. Happiness is the true medicine that we all need. And when you're happy and you don't have stress, you don't get sick as much. Um, that's why I call stress the silent killer because it's affecting your immune system. It's affecting a lot of things that you truly don't realize, digestion, everything, gut health, all sorts of stuff. But this is my comfort zone, my place of zen, my happiness. And these live streams are very therapeutic. I'll be honest with you. It's like I guess more so not for me, but if there's somebody out there that's maybe in a stressful part of the world, and they're looking for less stress, maybe I can open their eyes to something. But you truly don't not learn any of that stuff until you experience it yourself. And yeah, let me go to some of these comments. But thank you again, Dimple and David and everybody just for being here. Ben says, I'm having my patience tested and trying not to be the grumpy foreigner. Just go into a new condo. It's the second one where to bedding has smelled musty. Sir, the sheets were just changed. Yeah, Ben, it's like honestly, the condo we're in now, the marina, I would live there before, so I'm happy with it. And typically, um, even though everything's cleaned, I'm very OCD, I guess, which not in a stressful way now. It's kind of like wash out the dishes, wash the pans because it's furnished. I actually have a 100% cotton bed sheet that fits on the bed. Che and I will be putting that on the bed. They had their sheets, but I like my cotton sheets. It's softer, more comfortable for me. But yeah, you'll lose that, Ben, over time. Um, don't be too hard on yourself. You have to remember um, we're a product of our environment, just as these people are a product of their environment. So we come from two parts of the world. So just, I don't know. I just try to always remind myself and just be like, you know. just be a good person and don't let anything bother you. Just always remember you're in the Philippines. You're here because you wanted to be here. Embrace the culture, embrace the people, and just be happy. And with time, it gets easier and easier. I didn't even think, honestly, it was all that hard for me. I felt it right away when I first came to the Philippines. And then that's when I knew I didn't want to go home after 2 months because I was originally supposed to stay for 2 months. That's when I knew, and I said to my foreign friend here, I was in a gym with him. He's a YouTuber, Corey from It's Me. Shout out to Corey and Raquel, but his channel's called It's Me. He was one of my motivators, inspirations before coming here. We're in the gym, and well, probably had a couple more weeks till I had to go back. And I said, Corey, I don't want to go back. And he said, then Michael, then stay. He said, you're not the first person to say that. And you certainly won't be the last. He said, if you can afford it financially and have the time off, do it. And that really helped solidify my decision on wanting to be here, more full time, make this like a second home. And because, like I've said before, the first couple months were more like a vacation, living in and out of different hotels. And then once I decided to stay, then I got an apartment, got smarter, uh, budget, get more bang for the buck. I got smarter, and but that was a good learning experience, and I'm glad. I'm glad everything happened the way it happened, and not just everything come here perfect. It's good to learn. Plus, walking everywhere. Che will tell you I can walk around. I know my way around Dumaguete better than her, and that's kind of wild because she's from the Philippines. But I have that. It's just because I walk everywhere, and I've probably been up and down every road at least once, probably more than once. But you'll be fine, Ben. Wolfgang says that's what the system wants us to be, stressed and small. Yep, you're right, Wolfgang. You're right. You're awake. You know what's going on. Very true. Ben says, me, I wouldn't be calling if they didn't spell bad. Relax, Ben. No, you'll be fine. But see, that's the way, what we're used to. And I pointed out things I can't remember specifically being in my first apartment. But honestly, the first apartment I was here was at the marina before, and it was very nice. Very nice. Very westernized, like, had everything I needed in there, a water dispenser. The only thing I don't have, they didn't come with, although they're furnished, that I want, but I'm afraid to get one because I don't want to have to haul it around. I want a uh, air fryer. Air fryers are great, man. You can cook. Well, I don't know if I can find pork loin here, but just about anything you can make in an air fryer. But I just me personally, get the stainless one air fryer. Don't get any of those stick resistant kind of things. Even pans, get stainless or I don't know, cast iron or just something that doesn't have that non-stick stuff. They're toxic. Um, uh, Wolfgang says, "Yeah, that's what I learned here in Thailand too. Don't ask why, just accept it." Yeah, and actually, I mean, you kind of eventually you learn why they kind of do things the way they are, but that's just how it is, and it would be no different for somebody from the Philippines going to United States or something and then just being exposed to different things. They might ask why too. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's nothing they've seen before or used to, but I continue to go back to the same thing. It's like look at all the locals here working, doing whatever. When I walk by, they just look at me and smile, and I wave back to them, and they'll say hello, sir, and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, the people are the first and foremost, most important thing here in the Philippines, and then everything else is just icing on the cake. Ray says, "Okay, I'm back. Welcome back, Sir Ray. Stingray. I like that, Stingray." Ray says, "I mentioned your channel during my video, said you'd be proud of me for all the walking." Uh, they, are you talking about the video last night? I think I remember you talking about walking. Oh, you mean the video you just uploaded?
because I remember you maybe mentioning you were going walking the other day, and I was just proud to hear you say that because you know how I feel about walking, how good it is for you. So good for you, Ray. I'm looking forward to watching the video. Ben says, I upgraded this month and paid a little more for a nicer place. I didn't think to smell the bed with it being a nicer place. Didn't go to bed until after midnight. From now on, I will do the sniff test first. Yeah, I kind of like learned that too, but I think I wouldn't just do that here in the Philippines. If I was in an apartment in the US, I would inspect things thoroughly, and especially when it's supposed to be furnished. Um, like I requested the water dispenser and they fulfilled that. I requested the double burner. They had a single uh, induction stove, electric induction stove. Single's not enough. You need two because if you're cooking, well, especially Che, or if it was me cooking, because I can cook and like it, you want to be able to do two things at once. One burner, you got to cook and stop and let it sit, and then you got to cook the other thing and wait for you have to reheat the other thing. It's just, yeah, that's one thing I needed. So I said, hey, can you get me? They had one induction. I said, can you either get another induction burner or buy one that has two on one? And they did. They accommodated me on that. I mean, and that's the way a furnished apartment should be. I'm not paying extra money for an apartment, you know, I gotta stand, stretch my butt. I'm not paying for and just wanted you guys to see, look at this water. I mean, just here at the wall. It's just so clear and beautiful. Mm, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Whoops, my bad. So anyway, like, they accommodated me on that. And again, when I'm here to rent, I don't want I'm not getting furnished because I want to add stuff to it. I mean, but I understand also the owners want to make sure they want to accommodate you if they don't have certain things, but they also don't want to get, a bunch of other stuff, especially if you're not planning on staying long and then they're not kind of getting their return and investment. So I understand that. So I paid a little more too, Ben. You're not alone in that department. The one apartment I was waiting for, they were in the process of building, was more in the city. Studio, everything brand new, split aircon, like everything, basically enough. Kitchen, studio. I don't want anything big because I'm not in my apartment a lot. I don't need anything big. Just me and Che. And if it was just me, I don't I'm not here to live in my apartment. Just be able to eat, sleep, get a shower, and have aircon when I sleep. Um, so yeah, the apartment I was going to get was going to be 15,000 pesos per month. That would have been like, I don't know what 15 is, maybe 300 or less. Um, and then you would have paid the electric and water. I think Wi-Fi would have been included, furnished. Uh, they were willing to accommodate me too, but he thought the apartment would be ready on the 15th and it wasn't ready. It wasn't ready yet. And I had already been in a hotel for 3 to 4 weeks because the place I'm at now, I knew there were some units available there, but they were more expensive. And I'd been there before and I was just trying to wait out for something different. But oh well, it didn't work. Uh, it wasn't ready the 15th, the one I wanted. So I went search back for the marina. So long story short, I'll end up sharing this, maybe make a video, but the studio apartment, condo, whatever you call it, that I'm at now is so small. Wouldn't take me very long to show you it, but it's what comes along with it that makes it nice. It's called the Marina Spatial. On the other end, there's like Silliman Beach and Dumaguete. A lot of people stay there, locals, foreigners. It's more one of the nicer places. It's very similar to Ray's, more expensive than Ray's. It's like 24,000 pesos, which is like, I guess pushing 400 or something like that. But Wi-Fi is included. Good, very good Wi-Fi. Has everything you need, minus the air fryer. Has a very big, nice swimming pool outside, very big. Has a gym, has a basketball court. So it has the gym, which I like because if the place I would have stayed at wouldn't have a gym, I'd have to pay a membership for somewhere else. So that's nice. I don't have to pay for that. I like to go in a pool. This place has a swimming pool. So if you want to go to a pool somewhere, you're not going to be able to go for free anywhere you go. You're going to have to pay for it. So right there, I got the pool. Big, nice, lounge chairs, bathrooms, changing rooms, everything you need. And the other thing that's much needed, which I wouldn't have had at this other apartment that I was waiting on for 15,000, although Ray's is 15,000, but he's got a very good deal where he lives in Tagaytay. I can see the whole ocean where I'm at. They have very good security there. Security guards all over the place. So that's another thing you're paying for. When you're staying at a nicer place, you're paying for security. There's also a generator there. This apartment that if I would have gotten for 15 doesn't have a generator. Sure, Ray's does, but Ray is in a different situation. Uh, there's pros and cons of living in certain areas. Like I said, where I live, it's very accessible to, as you can see, you got Siki Hor, and I've mentioned this before. So we would get a boat 40 minutes, 40 minutes to Siki Hor. Speedboat to Bohol over that way, I think. It's Cebu's behind there on the mountain. Um, I think Bohol is like 2 hours. I don't know the exact cost of the boat nowadays, the fast boat to Sikihor, but Che and I will obviously be making a video. Hold on here, guys. I'm putting my power bank on just to protect myself because I was at 45 and I don't want to forget. So, yeah, location where I'm at is very easy to get to a lot of places. You can even go from here to Behold and Behold to Cebu. Like, there's just a lot of places you can go right from here. And I'm at the water. That's important to me. As much as I like the province area, I probably would need to be in a province area very close to the water, kind of like Michael White, um, who driving expat, or he had issues with YouTube the other day, so he might be starting. Well, he has his other channel, which I already think I'm subscribed to it anyway. At least I thought I was. But he lives near the water. I like where he lives. Love James and Karen's place where they live. The only thing they don't have is they're not close to the water. That's very important to me. Um, so I just know if I would sacrifice and go somewhere that's not near the water, I would probably not be in the long run. I wouldn't be very happy. So I kind of got to stick with what makes me happy. Uh, I'll get back to these comments. Uh, Ray says laundry is cheap, Ben. Just drop it off and let them do it. Yeah, that's what we do here. Che would wash it. We actually have a washing machine in the apartment, as small as it is. It's actually in the bathroom. There's some kind of drying system, not like a normal dryer, but a drying system. And then you take that and you can go up to the top of the building. I think it's 10 floors high. So you go to the roof. We're on the 8th floor. They have places where you can hang your laundry outside. But that's Che's baby. I'm not going to be washing any clothes by hand. If she wants to do that, that's up to her. But I told her just take it to the laundry. Let someone else do it. It's very cheap. Um, so yeah, you're right, Ray. David says, I'm back to I had to eat. Well, thank you for being back, David. I'm glad you got to eat. That's important. I haven't eaten anything yet. I will soon. It'll be a very late breakfast brunch for me. Um, Archer says, I gotta get the shade. There we go. Archer says, stress is a killer. Like the saying goes, don't sweat the small stuff. Yep. And it's all small stuff. There is big stuff, but all too often we overdo it in our heads. Yeah, I overthink things a lot. I mean, I'm a product of my environment, unfortunately, but I've gotten a lot better. Um, But yeah, I constantly try to remind myself, and I have others here that I met. Don't overthink things, Michael. Don't overthink things. So they're right. Archer says another saying, worrying is a waste of imagination. Yes, it is. A waste of time. And I definitely have less of that here. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Uh, Another saying, worrying is yes. Ray says the video I just uploaded, I shouted out something simple. Hey, thank you for the shout out, Ray. And if anybody's here, if you're not subscribed to Ray in the Philippines, or anybody else, uh, subscribe to Ray in the Philippines. He has a channel. He's a friend of mine, and he supports me. I support him, as we do with everybody in here. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the Philippines completely alone anyway. But yeah, if not for you guys, the subscribers who become friends, and not for your support, as well as my channel and anybody else, we wouldn't have channels. I mean, we can't do it without you guys. And if you ever have any suggestions for me, I'm open to it. But for the most part, other than the live streams, the videos are going to get more consistent once Che and I start going to some other places. And just on Sikihor Island alone, there's so many places to visit on that island. We're just going to pick one place, go there for the day. Next time we go back, pick another place. So there's so many places. I mean, it's going to be Sikihor this, Sikihor that, probably for a while. Um, and it's just an easy trip. So many different beaches, waterfalls, places to eat. It's very, it's like my idea of what an island is like. Uh, there's a lot of things you would have to come to the city to get and take it back, but that would be a great place to live. I would like Sikihor. Um, no, there's not like a brand name coffee shop probably down the road, but you're starting to notice these personal private business coffee shops are starting to pop up here and there. And hey, you got good coffee, I'm good. Um I don't need, like, let's just say example, Starbucks or something like I don't need that. And worst case scenario, I would just save the money and get my own barista espresso machine and make my own. There's ways around that. Um, but thank you for the shout out, Ray. I'm looking forward. I'll be watching it. Ben says, Ray, I'm cheap too, LOL. But yeah, I'll ask to keep the set of sheets so I can have them washed and changed once a week. Laundry is 24-hour turnaround time here. If you hear Dumaguete, if you take it to them first thing in the morning, they can have it to you later, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. At least every place, even in McCold, was the same way. If you're fairly early and you don't wait until close to noontime, you can get it done that same day. Some other laundry places are open later too, 8, 9 at night. Some close at 5. Che actually just dropped our laundry off today, but it was much later. So they said it wouldn't be available until till tomorrow. So that's fine. But the whole bed sheet thing, I wanted another set of bed sheets just because I like cotton. And those sheets that we had weren't cotton. They were definitely cheaper than that, like almost like thin. So now take the ones that are on there, get them washed, have my cotton ones. So I'll at least always be able to rotate. So just a food for thought. And it's not like a set of bed sheets or 2 pillowcases or mattress cover or that thick, you know. If you want to buy your own, it's not like it takes up, you're not buying a piece of furniture or an air fryer to haul around if you plan on moving somewhere. Just easy to, you know, portable, very easy. The smart thing though, Ben, is it's like you're not being cheap though, but you're being smart. Um, and that's another thing you learn here in the Philippines. You learn how to adapt or adopt um, the Philippine mindset. You got to get the USD mindset out of your head and think Philippine peso. Che has also helped me with that. Plus, I've learned on my own. I mean, I've said this before. When I first got here, I was like, "Wow, this is so much more in the U.S." It's like it's so easy. Just I'll buy that. I'll pay that. That's not too expensive because it costs this much in the U.S. Well, Che basically taught me you gotta think like a Filipino. You know, um, you gotta adopt what's expensive in their eyes. You need to have that same philosophy mindset. And it just teaches you to even be smarter with your money. Although USD, the value of it here is so much more. But throw that out and start thinking like a Filipino as best as you can. I think that's very smart. And then you just have extra money to be able to do other things. Um, that's my advice. because like you said, I budget stuff, and then that's how you plan and incorporate your trips and your travel. And obviously YouTube, depending on what happens with that, um, money that you make off of YouTube for me or for Che and I, for us, it's just going to provide us opportunities to go see other places. It's going to provide opportunities for me to invest in Starlink or uh, whatever else to improve my content, just stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I have a budget. I'm living on my pension and some savings, and that's just the reality. Uh, I have many years to go until Social Security becomes a thing. So for me, I have my budget, and you got to stick to it. If you can save with your budget, you're winning even more. Um, Thomas is here. Hello, Thomas Lee. Thomas, how you doing, my friend? When you going to? He's laughing at Ray. Let me know when you're heading to But First Coffee again, my friend. We'll talk over some coffee. I ended up getting the marina. If you haven't heard, we decided to rent out the marina. So that's where I'm at, back at a familiar place, Thomas. Ray says, "Oh, okay. Most of the time, if I drop off in the morning, I can pick up a 4 or 5." Yeah, that's the same here, Ray. I think it's maybe some people just, it doesn't matter what time you drop it off. They just say next day. Maybe they're just too busy. They can't commit to it in the same day. Um, Ray in the Philippines says, oh, yeah, that's right. Wolfgang says 15,000 pesos equivalent to 253 US dollars currently. Thank you very much, Wolfgang. And what is the dollar to the peso right now? I think the other day it was like 59 something. I can't remember. I haven't been watching it every day like I used to before, but at least it was the other day. Um, Ben says it was quicker, but they have been backed up lately. Yeah, see, Ben, I'm sure, like I said, you being in Cebu, where you're located, some places are just really good and provide good service that they're going to be popular and busy. So they don't want to commit to the same day and not be able to, you know, fulfill that commitment. So it's easier for them to say maybe the next day, even if it does get done early. That's probably smart on their part. Josh, hello, Josh. How are you, my friend? He said, sounds like paying for a few amenities and getting a free apartment to go with the amenities. Sounds like, yeah, exactly. And like I said, it's all what you want. You can find an apartment that doesn't furnished with all the knives, forks, down to everything. You can get it completely empty, but then you got to buy everything. And then if you decide to move, what are you going to do with that stuff? Uh, that's one inconvenience I don't want to deal with. Um, Now, the one apartment that I lived at also before in Dumaguete, it was furnished, but um, it didn't have cooking pans and stuff like that. So I guess that was considered a semi-furnished apartment, half. Um, but it was also only 13,650 pesos per month. And that included Wi-Fi. That was in Banilad. It wasn't the newest and most beautiful, luxurious apartment, like maybe the marina compared to that. No pool, none of this, but it was actually much bigger, had a separate bathroom, like more of a living area, kitchen room. Could cook indoors, had almost like a dirty kitchen out on the back balcony. There was a farm behind me, so I got to see farm animals. You could open the screen door in the back, and you had a screen door in the front, so you always had a breeze blowing through. I did like that and kind of miss that. That's the advantage of apartments like that are a little more like a small townhouse. If you have a front door and a back door, you can take advantage of the airflow. Whereas an apartment, you got one window where you're not really going to have airflow unless it's blown directly into your window that day, which that doesn't happen very often. So you have to depend more on a fan, and at least here, a fan, and then like obviously aircon here and there. But mostly it's aircon when I sleep, and that's it. Um, Actually, when Che was cooking, she opened the window, which is fine, because you want to air it out. When you're in a smaller place, obviously, your whole place is going to smell like food. which again, that's something, so that doesn't bother me. But she opens the window for that reason. So yeah, that apartment in Banny Lad, 13,650 included Wi-Fi, electric, water. Water was never any more than 400. Electric was very, I can't even remember, couple thousand pesos. Um, Che did do a lot of cooking though outside on the back balcony. She just took the induction stove. It's like they call it a dirty kitchen. She would just cook outside. So that's a nice thing to have for certain things. But she was like cooking with oil sometimes. And I just told, I don't like, she burned herself a couple times. I said, don't cook with oil. That's too dangerous. Um, Splashing and stuff like that. And there's not that many things that we eat that you need to cook with oil. Now she did make homemade French fries out of potatoes, but it was like in a deeper pot, so the splashing wasn't as bad. But she was frying chicken in the oil before, and she has like scars. She's burned herself, before living in her province years ago, because they're always exposed to fire, obviously cooking out in the province. David says, "Hi, Josh." Josh says, "Hi, David." Ray says, "Yes, that's my rent, 15K. But with your Wi-Fi included, after my condo fees and Wi-Fi, would be around 20." All right, Ray. So there you go. Like, see, yeah, they're paying my condo fee, like the condo fees. They're paying the Wi-Fi, which is close to 2 grand. So 24,000, Wi-Fi is 2,000. I heard condo fees were probably another 2,000. So that's maybe close to like the 20, for that. And then throw in the gym. I don't know what a gym would cost. If you want a nice gym that's air conditioned, I'm not so sure what that is a month. I've gone to the one place here in Dumaguete before. The one first gym I went to was the first time I was ever in a non air conditioned gym. You want to work out, you'll get one without no air conditioning. Holy heck, I was dying, but no pain, no gain, so they say. But then they opened a new one here called 24/7. Now they have aircon, might be considered, it's brand new equipment, the best of everything in aircon. I'm sure it's a little more expensive. I think when I went to the other one that didn't have aircon for the day, and I could come back as many times as I wanted in the day. That was at least at this gym, he allowed me to do it. Like 150 or something, 150 pesos for the day for the gym. So again, I got the gym where I'm at. Now, does it have as much of equipment as like a regular gym? No, but it has everything I need. I only need the gym for free weights, dumbbells and stuff like that. I don't need a treadmill. I do my walking. I do push-ups. I don't do, bench press and any of that stuff. I just use my own weight, body resistance for push-ups. So I do squatting myself. You can, just do no weights at all, or you can get a 30-pound dumbbell and go up and down holding it at your chest, building up your legs and keeping your back and stuff strong. That's very important. A lot of people when they get older, they can't bend, squat right. They're bending at their waist and they're not bending at their knees. Um, Josh says you have to start saying "Kumasta." Yeah, "Kumasta." How are you? "Kumasta." Oh, everybody. How are you? Um, I do know that. So thank you, Josh. Ben says, "How about a paddleboard to Sikihor challenge?" I would try it. Um, that would be one hell of a that would be one hell of a challenge. Who knows though? Like, well, you figure by speedboat, it takes 40 minutes to get from the port here to Sikihor, and that's by a speedboat. So I have no idea. You get some serious sun going out there, though. You better be covered really good. Um, but like I said, I've always seen these fishing boat guys around here. I'm going to ask them. I got to quit saying I'm going to ask and just do it and go out there for a couple hours, at least let them show me the procedure of putting the nets out and then uh, pulling it back in and seeing what they caught. That would be fun. And I think it would be cool, a cool thing to put on YouTube or, video or live stream. Uh, I would be up for that challenge, Ben, but I don't know if I'd win. Um, I certainly would die trying. Ray says, "Ben, I would lose that challenge. Haha." Hey, Simon, how are you? Says, "Hey, Michael." Simon says, "Hey, Ray and all." How's everything with you, Simon? All I can say is beautiful day. Kumastaka. Taking Josh's advice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Um, Ray says it would turn into a rescue Ray challenge. We're all here for you, Ray. I would try and rescue you. I wouldn't let you drown. Ben wouldn't let you drown either. Wolfgang says, be careful with your nose. It starts getting red. Yeah, mine does. Mine usually turns brown, but yeah, I have the zinc on it right now. I think sometimes, well, it's supposed to be water, moisture resistant and stuff like that. So that's why I hide myself. Usually the cap takes good care of that, but no, I load it up pretty white. You can see the white out stuff out here. That natural zinc usually does really good, but I appreciate the fact that you care, and you're exactly right. Uh, Ben says, Ray, if you finish, you're the winner. All right, so it's whoever finishes. It's not so much, well, so if you just finish, that's all that matters. Yeah, it's kind of like any race. You finish, you win. You're a winner, right? And Ray says, I'm always a winner. Yeah, there's one thing I'd never challenge Ray at, and I definitely would lose, and he already knows what that is. David says hi to Simon, which is CEO. Simon says, hi, Dave. Hope you're fighting fit, not Buddy Simon. Why am I lost in that? Hi, Dave. Hope you're fighting fit, not. Hmm. Maybe I'm just not understanding it, but David's coming soon. That's the most important thing. He's coming soon. Ben says, you're always a wiener at Pedro's. Yes, wiener. Yes, Trillion, my nose. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, a little red. That's why I'm behind the shade. Like I said, I did put my all zinc natural sunblock, but I'm just gonna have to keep applying more and pay more attention to that. But I appreciate it, Trillion. Thanks for looking out for me. Bill Meyer says cotton flannel is the best. Yeah, I mean, I love flannel, but I think flannel would be probably maybe a little too much here. Wolfgang says Trillion. Yes, I mentioned that also. Thank you for your thoughts and concerns. I will apply more, definitely. Ben says, I saw a short video of a guy blogging some street food in Manila. He bought a little bag of pork skins for 50 pesos. All the Filipinos in the comments were saying, too much, LOL. Um, like I said, Ben, there's a lot of stuff Che has to, like, I have to learn from her what's considered, truly expensive and what's not. Um, Still adapting to the Philippine peso mindset. So, if they were saying it was too expensive, they're probably right. Um, that's why I kind of have Che get like when she goes to the food. Now I've been with her at the food market, like the public market, but I let her go without me. I don't help. Uh, the prices go up when I'm there, so she does that by herself. And then grocery store we're fine because it's like everybody pays the same. Um, Even when like she'll walk to the public market, but then she'll take a tricycle um, back. Obviously, there's no point in me being there. She may get charged more if I'm there. Plus, um, I don't need to ride along with her to get groceries. She's tough. She basically handles everything on her own. Um, Wolfgang says $1 is 59. All right, so it's still at 59. I think I heard somebody else talking about it on YouTube or a channel saying this is usually the time of the year when the value of the dollar goes up higher. Maybe because it's closer to Christmas. Something to that respect. Recently, I've heard. Um, Ray says, "LOL." Ben says he got the skin tax on the pork skins. Yep. Josh says Jim sounds like work to me. Yeah, it is work. No pain, no gain. Wolfgang says, oh boy. Mabuti, Naman, Ika. I have so much to learn. I'm sure you got, obviously you guys know what that means. I'm lazy. I'll just say it. I'm just lazy when it comes to learning stuff, but I need to get better at it. That's my uh that's my imperfection. One of my obviously I have a lot of imperfections, but learning the Philippine language is one of other than the common stuff like you say, Kamusta ka, Salamat, Guapo, Guapa. Um, those are like the most common things I use. Um, yeah, I have a lot more to learn. Uh, Che, actually, someone that told me what ICAW means, and I'm just, yep, I'm drawing a blank, Josh. It must be in lesson three. Uh, David says, I'm going to see if I can sleep. I'll try to get up to see Ray's live. Hey, Ray, I'm going to walk this way, actually. Ray, or David, have a good night's sleep. Hope you can fall asleep. I know you're getting excited, and I know I am. I know everybody else is too. And always, as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship, David. Thank you for always being in my live streams whenever you can. Thank you for your generosity on multiple occasions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you have a good night, my friend. Um, so yeah, Josh, you're right. Must be in lesson three. So that's one of my flaws. Um, one of my flaws is not learning the Philippine language better than what I should be. But I'm gonna walk over this way where there's maybe some more shade, but not a lot of flies. The flies are very smart here in the Philippines. They like shade too. So when you go to the shade, then I got a gazillion flies around me, and I'm like looking for food or something. Maybe they're attracted to food. There's not even any food around. I'm like, they're just interested in the shade. So I'm gonna go up and under this tree. Um, Here we go. Sometimes I've sat like in places like this, like here around this tree, but then all of a sudden I feel something bite me in the butt. And it's these little damn ants. They're so tiny, but they're freaking biting the hell out of me. Ugh, they get in my short. All right. Ben says, if you didn't recognize it, you're always a wiener at Pedro's is from the billboard advertisements for the big I-95 rest stop south of the border in South Carolina, right on the North Carolina, South Carolina border. I don't remember that. I just always remember, I always knew when I was in, I think, what is it, South Carolina is where you can get the fireworks, like it's south of the border. Because I remember for years as a kid, it was not until you got to or maybe it was North Carolina. I just knew once you got in North or South Carolina on our way to Myrtle Beach, that's where, well, on the way back home, we'd load up with fireworks before we went back to Pennsylvania. Uh, ECAW basically means and you. All right. I'm going back where and you. All right. All right. ECAW basically means and you. So Mabuti, Naman Ika means I'm probably pronounced it wrong. Che will have to give me another lesson. I'm very good in you. So if someone says Kumasta Ka, how are you? I'm gonna answer Ma Mabuti, Naaman, Naman Ika, which is I'm gonna say I'm very good in you. All right. I'm gonna actually screenshot this too. Yay! So be proud. I screenshot it so I remember. Josh says if that was the US, it would be used. If that was used, it would be a used needle poking you in the butt. Yeah, probably. I guess uh certain parts of California, probably needles running down along the sidewalks and the drainage. Um, yeah, that probably would be a needle poking me in the butt, which that'd probably be worse. If I had a choice, I'd rather have an ant bite me. which they do pack a punch. Ooh, where are we at here? 84 minutes. So 90 minutes will be an hour and a half. So that might be the most I do because a lot of people have better things to do. They got to sleep, but I just wanted to hang out. And I'm glad a lot of you guys were hanging out with me the whole time. I appreciate everything. I mean, Josh, the Ray, the Ben, the David obviously should be sleeping. Wolfgang, I'm glad you're here. Um, Obviously Josh, Wolfgang, Bill Meyer, thank you, Bill. Appreciate you being here. Trillion, you were new. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for letting me know. My nose is red as well as Wolfgang. I'll be applying more sunblock, well, natural sunblock, but oh, mm, but yeah, thank you, Wolfgang. Simon was here. Yeah, a lot of you guys, Thomas, a lot of you guys. I'm very thankful that you're all here. And uh-oh, Ray's trying to teach me more. More booty naman ikaw. I know what labut is. Labut and Messiah is your butt. So that's another thing I know what labut is. That's because Shay calls me labut. So I do know what that is. Labut. Mm, my pronunciation is probably terrible. Moi booty naman naman. Oh, pronunciation for the word. All right, so moi booty naman ikaw. All right, so let me get back to that. My booty naman ikaw are my booty. Yeah, just when you said booty, I was thinking you meant booty as in butt. Josh says, and the word order gets mixed around like Yoda from Star Wars. Yes, yes. The force is strong with this one. Yes, yes. I don't know if I did that very good, but I used to joke, mess around playing Yoda. The force is strong with this one. Ray in the Philippines says, "Who wit is butt in Tagalog." So the but is butt in Messiah, and who wit is butt in Tagalog. And now I know butt in two different languages. Yeah, Che and I call each other Labut. That's our nickname. You like that, Yoda? I haven't practiced that in forever. But yeah, we used to joke around imitating, people's voices from Star Wars, and I always like to mess around doing Yoda because when he'd laugh, he'd go, he'd be like, "Oh, yes, yes, the force is strong with that one." One of my talents, I guess. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a talent, but uh Ray says Lynn is nodding, so you got the pronunciation on poo it right. Poo wit. I know how to say poo and wit. Josh is laughing. Ray says cool Yoda impersonation. Yeah, that's one. I don't know if I know any other ones. See, when I worked at FedEx at the Harrisburg International Airport, being at the building, the facility was so big, and we had so many employees to communicate with. We carried around, walkie talkies, like really good radios. So, yeah, you couldn't just yell across the room if you needed to talk to somebody. So we communicated over radios. So if you were a good impersonator, and you could sneak and do something in the radio, and then nobody would know who was doing it. Um, yeah, we had some fun like that on the radio. Probably shouldn't have done it. We did it at certain times when it was business should have been definitely over screwing around. But yeah, we had a fun group of people when I worked, and yeah, doing voice impersonations was definitely something we did over the radio. Ben says, if you want to confuse and aggravate Che, talk to her in a thick Southern accent. Yeah, she also said Southern accents, and she also mentioned British accents can be difficult English languages to listen to, to understand. Um, I guess Gary kind of fell into that a little bit. She would mention sometimes certain words he would say because his uh, European British accent was very strong. Yeah, some of his words would be much more difficult to understand, whereas me, or anybody that speaks very clean, smooth English, not much of an accent. Um, so I remember that. I have joked with her in a Southern accent before, though. Ben, she just laughed. She never said whether or not she could understand it. She just started laughing because I'd impersonate Southerners. What y'all doing now? You gonna come over and uh, eat some steak and potatoes? Yeah, not very hard. Then maybe I don't. Maybe I have too much of a Southern accent. What y'all doing? Why don't you come on over for a party? You want a beer? And I'd be like, no, I don't want a beer. And they're like, what do you like to drink? I'd be like, I don't know, some water or something like that. All right, we can get you a tall glass of water there now. Yeah, we joke. Uh, Ray says, Guapo Akko is handsome I am, which is why Josh referenced Yoda. Okay, Guapo Akko is handsome I am. Gotcha. Hey, Dave, welcome, Mr. Dave, aka Dave Traveled is here. How you doing, Dave? Where you at, Mr. Dave? Says Mr. Simple's cute in his light colored t-shirt. I appreciate the compliment, Mr. Dave. You always uh you always make me feel confident in myself, and I appreciate that. I'm glad my shirt. Yeah, it's just an Under Armour shirt. I think it's more like Carolina blue. Uh, Josh says need Ray's Cajun accent. Ray was funny last night because someone made a comment that he sounded like that guy used to do the movies. What's his name? Elmer or who was like that? He had a real Southern accent. Ray's voice sounded a little more deeper and raspy last night. And then I heard somebody comment and said he sound like Elmer goes to something. There's some movie series of him, Elmer something, and I was like, yeah, that's who Ray sounds like. Now I can't remember who that was, or Vern, yeah. Why y'all talking like me? Shit, I ain't talking like you, boy. Now my one friend I work with, Gilbert, he was from Georgia, and he had one hell of a Southern accent, and I miss Gilbert. He passed away much sooner than he should have. He's one of my friends that worked until he was uh, mid to upper 60s, retired, and I don't even know if he's retired for more than a year. Worked till he pushed 70, and I don't even think it was a year, and he passed away. That was another thing that motivated me to if I could retire early and start living life. I'm doing it now. But he used to joke around a lot when he was referencing women. If you're an attractive woman, he would say, "Damn boy, that's a tall glass of water over there," and I never forget that. Boy, and then what he'd say if it was like the girl's butt or whatever. If she had a nice butt, he'd be like, "Look at that tomato," or he'd say, and this is the funniest one. "You damn boy, she got a fine looking turd cutter." That was another one. If she had a nice butt, he'd call it a turd cutter. God bless, rest in peace, Gilbert. Well, he used to say all sorts of stuff. He had so many Southern sayings, had me laughing. Uh, Josh says, Vern. Dave says, I'm in Bangkok, sir, headed to the retirement town of Wahine tomorrow on the train. Yeah, Wahine's beautiful. Never been there, but it looks very beautiful. Someday. Yeah, that's it, Ray. Ernest P. Worrell. No, what I mean, Vern. That's it, Vern. And someone said you sounded like him last night, and I was like, that was so true, exactly. That was so funny. That's it. Josh is laughing. Dave says, "Are you a fan of Larry the Cable Guy, Mr. Simple?" I've seen Larry the Cable Guy, but quite honestly, I can't even remember who the heck he is. I haven't watched movies like in so long. Um, Ray probably remembers who Larry the Cable Guy is. Dimple says, "Hi guys, let's eat pizza's yummy." Pizza doesn't sound bad right about now. That'll be coming soon. I'm due for a pizza. I like to have that cheat day every so often. And as much as I walk, pizza and the carbs don't affect me anyway. I probably need the carbs. That's why someone I said, yeah, I was eating rice and potatoes the other day, and I think it was Ray said something about starchy or something like that. I was like, all the walking I do, I need some carbs. Um, and it was just a little bit of rice and potatoes, but yeah, I probably need it. Oh, there you go. Ben says, look at the shitter on that critter. But yeah, Gilbert, I'm trying to think of what the hell else did he used to say. Oh, he would say if someone was lazy, like, or someone didn't want to work or wasn't doing their job, he'd be like, damn, that boy's about as useless as pits on a boar hog. That's another thing. And he was from Georgia. He's a Georgia boy. Yeah, that's it. You're about as useless as pits on a boar hog. Uh, I'll probably have other ones that hit me. We used to talk about all the sayings he had: tall glass of water, look at that tomato, turd cutter. Um, Or he'd say, he'd go, I'd like to bust that tomato. That's what he'd say. I'd like to bust that tomato if he saw a fine looking woman. Just things that made you laugh. One time we had helium balloons at work and we got him to suck on the helium and then talk, say those sayings just as he sounds. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So helium balloon and southern accent with those sayings all together, we were dying. We were dying laughing. Um, Ray says that was top of my list of favorite B words: booty, butt, behind, banda, bada, badon, badonk, adonk, badonk, adonk. I don't know if I might have heard it. I know I've definitely never said it. Ray says useless as a screen door on a submarine. Yep. Um, and then somebody like, because he was older, this guy was sitting there and he's an older guy and he had a lot of wrinkles on the back of his neck. And he said to the guy, he goes, damn boy, he goes, you got so many wrinkles on the back of your neck, you look like a road map. Like he would just like, think of these things. Yeah, you have so many wrinkles on your neck, it look like a goddamn road map. Rest in peace, Gilbert. Wherever you are, you made me laugh. Dave says Wahine has a big beach. Yes, I did see videos of that beach along the whole coast of the city. Imagine if Dumaguete was made like that. They built roads along the beach instead. Maybe someday, Mr. Dave, maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe someday. Josh said that will be Ray's next video content. We get him speaking Cajun and sucking helium. There we go, Ray. That's a good idea, Josh. See, I'm glad I thought of that. Like, not only was he funny when he spoke his southern accent, but then we had him sucking on a helium balloon and talking like that. Holy, it's just a whole other level. But that's what I like, man. He could make you laugh. And we were doing this while we were at work in the break room. Uh, I don't even know who the heck brought in the helium balloons, how that happened. I think we were celebrating somebody's birthday and they brought balloons in and then it was kind of over and then we're like, all right, let's have more fun with these balloons. And somebody started sucking helium and then we're like, let's get Gilbert to do it. And then he did it and he was the highlight of the birthday party. Southern and helium combined. Ray said that was content on my beer and bacon live stream. So yeah, let's think about that, Ray. Find some helium balloons or something, and start saying funny phrases or just say anything with a helium balloon. That'd be fun if you just started like that and people not knowing your voice and they'd be like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? They think it was your real voice. I've actually met one person in my life. I can remember this vividly, kind of being out at a bar many, many, many years ago in my 20s or early 30s and met some girl. She was drop dead gorgeous, beautiful girl, and she started talking. And right away, it was just like this high, like she sounded like she was sucking on helium, but it was her natural voice. I literally just started, I couldn't help it. I started laughing in her face, thinking, like, I said, wow, that's awesome. Bro. You have like helium or something, sucking on helium. And she's just like, what are you talking about? And I was like, uh-oh. That was like her real voice, which I couldn't have handled that anyway. Um, no matter how good looking you are and your personality, if you sound like you're sucking on helium when you talk all the time, I would probably, yeah, I wouldn't have handled that too well. Yeah. I remember that. It was funny. All right, where are we at? We're at 101 minutes. I think, guys, you've been hanging out long enough. You've been nice and generous with your time. I should probably let you guys go. It's 2 in the afternoon here. I haven't eaten. I need to. I'm probably just gonna get two barbecue chicken breasts on a stick and some rice, and that'll be good enough. I'll go to a place called Food Net. I like their barbecue chicken. It's like lime on or calamansi, I think they squirt on it too, but it's really good. And thank you, Ray, Josh, uh, Dave, Ben, Dimple, everybody, even back to David, both of you guys for your generous super chats. Manila, whoever is all still here. Wolfgang, you guys may be quiet. I'm not sure if you're here. Bill, Trillion. I said Wolfgang, kind of going back. I don't want to leave anybody off, but beautiful day in the Philippines. Thanks for our chairs. Thanks for joining me. Nature is Better was a new one. Well, I remember him, but he changed his name. Umai, YouTube, Sula was here, I think. Dazzle, Gino, all you guys. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a good day, Michael and everyone. That was Ben. Dave says bye, cute simple. Ray says, I'm gonna go check on my latest videos doing. I'll see y'all tonight for dinner. Yes, sir. Ray says, have an awesome day. You guys have an awesome day. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being my friends. And I can't wait to see you the next time. And yeah, life is great. Living the dream. God bless you all. Love you all. Have a good night. Peace. See you later. Bye.